All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast presentation. Your casting host, Beef. Joining me is Snow. Shay, excited for Game 2 here?
I am, which is going to be a repeat of Game 1, race-wise.
Oh, why you gotta be racist? Oh, I'm sorry, that was in terrible taste. Edit that out. Anyway, looking like we are actually going to be on Entombed Valley. Let's get right on into it. In the top left-hand corner, our random player currently playing the blue Protoss. He is TripleDK.
And down on the right, Sam, the pink Zerg.
Sam up 1-0 in this series, just one game away from being able to push this into the semifinals and being one step closer to that big $25 prize. We'll see if he's able to finish this game out. Right now, both players are going to be looking like they want to try to get the scout. Both players going to be in the bottom left-hand corner. Maybe do a little bit of a worker high five.
And exchange some stories.
Yeah, maybe just say like... Yeah,
Anything cool you were mining the other day? No, me neither.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you could just like find really cool gems or something in the mineral fields? It's just like all of a sudden you get like an injection of 400 extra minerals or something.
Yeah, that would do brilliant things for early game cheese.
It's like, oh, I guess I could just have like an extra Rax right now. Oh my god.
I brought an extra Brax.
That would be awful. Oh man.
Very similar opening up here for TripleDK.
Yeah, going
Forge.
for that Forge first right here, with the second pylon going to be going down as well. Once again, with a slightly odd Forge fast expand here. The wall is a little bit weird, but if it works for him, it works for him.
He's got that depot in the way.
Yeah, the neutral supply depot can really throw a little bit of hijinks in here for the Protoss player, especially if you're not used to dealing with it. The gateway going to be going down here, and it's actually going to look like it's a pretty good wall to me with that photon
Yeah, once the
cannon.
cannon comes up, it can get rid of that depot if it wants to or not.
Yeah, so that'll work. 14 pool, 16 hatch going to be the opening back here. Very standard for our Zerg player with that natural hatchery going down very quickly. So we were discussing during the break the map choice. It was loser's pick, like all the maps are after the first map. So TripleDK actually choosing Entombed Valley here. We were discussing how it must be a little bit odd to go ahead and choose a map as a random player, just because some maps are better for others than others for different races. And not knowing what race you're going to be playing, it's a little bit weird to choose a map. But as you so pointed out, with this map being a little bit better for Protoss and Terran, and his opponent being a Zerg, he's got a pretty good chance of this being a favored map for him. And with him rolling Protoss, didn't you choose that?
He seems to have won his gamble, more or less.
Oh, certainly.
I mean, the constant you do know is that the opponent will always be Zerg, so if you do always pick a tough map for Zerg, or whatever the case may be, it's probably going to be your best bet.
True. 4 Zerglings making their way across the map now. Going to be getting a little bit of scouting information down. As the third hatchery does go up here, one of the big reasons that Zerg do have such a hard time here is because they take that third very early. They don't want to be making a whole lot of combat units, and the destructible rocks separate the natural from the third over here. So we'll see when Sam does in fact choose to make his way over and take care of those rocks. One Zealot going to be making its way out of the gateway over there to deal with those Zerglings, get him out of there, and once again a second photon cannon going to be coming down at the wall here.
Well, it's trying that, creating a little choke there at the bottom of his ramp. The neutral supply depot, of course, isn't stopping anybody.
Yeah. And so back at home, the Protoss player is going to be going ahead and just macroing on up right now. If we take a look at the worker counts, the Protoss player is actually ahead at this point. One thing interesting to note, there is a single gas going down as opposed to the double gas that is standard from Zerg and standard as to what Sam played last game. So that single gas is going to... Okay, the double gas coming up now. So he might just not have had enough minerals at that point.
2 Zealots running around the middle of the map, chasing those Zerglings out. Still hasn't lost a Zergling yet, which is good. His last game, he opened up by losing 2 of them.
Yeah. Those zealots will be integral in making sure that map control is established here for the Protoss player, trying to clear up any units off of those Zelnaga watchtowers. One queen and a couple of zerglings going to be making their way over to try to deal with these zealots right here, but the zealots dispatch those zerglings relatively quickly and try to focus down the queen, but the queen able to get back on the creep there and make her way expediently out of the fray.
So from the Zerg perspective there, what would you think if you had the zealots break off your legs like that, who they probably would have killed just to take a chunk out of your queen's hit points?
It's definitely, you want to kill as much stuff as you can, and being as close to the creep as possible, you're just not able to get that queen down. It would have been better to just try to take out as many lings as possible, or even make a dash towards the drone line, pick off a couple of drones, but you just weren't going to kill that queen.
Couple lings hanging out there at the bottom of this ramp, just to set off the alarm if anybody leaves.
And the Templar Archives did go down already.
Dark Shrines building as well. And Ground Weapons 1 is just about finished for the Protoss player.
Yeah, with that Ground Weapons 1 finished up, those Dark Templar are just going to absolutely shred anything in the Zerg army. Going to be able to one-shot all of those drones as they get in there. So we'll see how these Dark Templar do go ahead and work into the composition right now. Lair is already finished, although there's no evolution chamber down for the time being, so no spore crawler is going to be made. And so the Dark Templar are really just going to be trying to fight the clock here, whether or not they're going to be able to get some drone kills in.
There is a pylon down fairly close to the Zerg base. And he has banked 150 gas or so, 200 gas.
Yeah, he'll be able to warp in 2 or 3 Dark Templar when this is finished. And it looks like the follow-up here is going to be a Dark Shrine. Or excuse me, not Dark Shrine. A Blink. But the Dark Shrine was, in fact, scouted by the Overseer that made its way in. Some absolute brilliant game sense from our Zerg player right there. Getting ready to deal with any kind of Dark Templar. And we'll see if those are even warped in with the Zerg already knowing just exactly what's coming up.
2 of them.
Yeah, 2 Dark Templar are going to be
taken out now between the 2nd and 3rd.
Yep. The 2 Dark Templar are going to be making their way over here to the 3rd.
And the 3rd is, they won't be able to do anything there.
Yeah, those Dark Templar cleaned up very quickly. Nice job from Sam to go ahead and take out all those units with the assistance of the Spore Crawler and the Overseer right now. Protoss player starting to take out his own 3rd rocks as his 3rd Nexus is about 80% complete. However, the 4th hatchery is already up down here for Sam as he's going to be starting to drone up just a little bit more and get that saturated. But right now with a large force of Zerglings and Roaches making their way across the map, one thing very important to note here is that Sam once again forgot speed. This is something that it happens to the best of us, but it is so painful when it does because those Zerglings absolutely need speed. And I think it's a little bit premature for Sam to want to go ahead and try to push out across the map right now without speed on those Lings, although his army is just absolutely gigantic right now with all those Roaches with +1. And even being able to get into a decent position here against the Protoss army, getting nice and close up there with the Zerglings being able to take out a lot of those Zealots. The Roach is going to be able to engage and get some of those really high-cost units. The Sentries and the Stalkers going to be going down right now, and it just doesn't look like the Protoss player is going to be able to have the units to deal with this right now. A couple of force fields going down, but they're not perfectly placed there, as Roach is even going to be coming along the back side right now, and the Roach is starting to push in as the last sentry does in fact fall right there. 1 Dark Templar is going to be warping in, and the Overseer has not been, the Overseer is just completely gone. So this 1 Dark Templar, the couple of Dark Templar that are warping in here are going to be able to clean up, and this is a little bit reminiscent of last game. You've got impervious units, you've got the Void Rays from last game and the Dark Templar in this game that are going to clean everything up eventually, but it's how much damage can the Roaches do in the meantime. And right now the Roaches, just with their tanky nature, are just absolutely not taking enough damage from these Dark Templar. And there's not a whole lot of gateways right now for the Protoss to be warping in off of. Only a total of 6 gateways right now. 1 gateway even not even warped into a gateway, or a warp gate at this point. And the Dark, the Overseer
coming in now, so this will be the end of any resistance here.
Yeah, the Overseer does come in. The Dark Templar are taken out. Going to be taking out the Cybernetics core and the gateways. Nothing is powered up right now. The only things that can be warped in are, in fact, Zealots. Stalkers at the top of the ramp going to be flanked by the Speedlings. And it's looking like Sam has actually set himself up to make a quick play into semifinals.
Yep.
Continuous streams of units making its way all the way across the map. The fourth base being used sheerly for production right now, not even starting to ramp up. Back home behind this, the infestation pit has been dropped. Sam not wanting to take any chances. The event that some kind of apocalyptic event does occur here, and all of his roaches are vaporized from the map. He wants to be able to go ahead and transition out of this safely, but it is not going to be needed. And GG Gratz comes out of TripleDK. Our random player does fall, and the best of 3 series does go to our Zerg player, Sam.
Well, there's really no plan B there for TripleDK. Once the Templar proved that they weren't going to be very effectual, the wheels were off at that point. It just was a downhill from there for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate his transition there was not very swift. He was looking to go into Blink, but he didn't have the stalker count to really follow that up, and with no robo, those roaches were just able to completely decimate his forces. But Sam makes his way into the semifinals. I'm excited to cast some of his further matches. He's shown us that he is very capable, quite the capable Zerg here, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been your casting host of Beef. Joining me has been Snow. Thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you in the semifinals.